This right here is the Singer heavy duty computerized sewing machine, and I've been sewing on mine for 9 months straight, almost with no break. So I think it's about time that I posted an honest review. I'm not going to cover the basics, like we all know that machines do straight stitch, zigzag stitch, it has a presser foot. They're all the same in that regard. I'm going to cover all of my pros and cons as someone who's been sewing for 15 years and give you my honest review. Is this machine good for beginners? Is it better suited to an advanced sewer? Let's find out. One function that I don't think is often talked about with the Singer heavy duty computerized sewing machines is the automatic stitching function. This is particularly helpful if you're doing a really long hem or you've just got lots and lots of stitches to get through. The automatic stitching function allows you to set your speed manually, line your fabric up, pull down your needle and then press go. The machine will literally stitch for you. Now, it's not automatic in the sense that you would, set it up, go make a cup of tea and come back and it's finished your project for you. But this function is really helpful if you've got a super long hem or if you can handle a little bit more autonomy in the particular project that you're working on and you can afford to let the machine kind of do some of the work for you. Do I use this in replacement of my foot pedal on the machine? No, but is it handy to have? Definitely. The second function that I really like on this machine is actually the letter and number embroidery stitches that you have. Now, we all know that the Singer heavy duty computerized machines have a huge array of decorative stitches. It's part of the reason why I wanted mine so much, although I've never used them, to be honest. But the letter and number embroidery means that you can really customize your creations to a level that you might not have been able to reach previously. And you can really use this to your advantage. You can stitch a nice little message onto something that you've made for somebody. You can put your name or the name of your clothing brand onto your garments. It's just such a cute touch. And although I don't use this all the time, it's nice to know that I have the feature. Now, you might not have come across this problem before, but I personally have. My previous machine actually had a white plastic base. And what I noticed was that when I used fabrics that were quite heavily dyed, I started to get staining on the actual plastic itself. Now, the Singer heavy duty machine, although it looks a little bit more hardcore, is also still made of plastic. But because of the color and the finish of the plastic, I haven't noticed any staining whatsoever. And that means a lot to me because I want my machine to keep looking fresh and new for as long as it's alive. Now, this next one is more of an optional add-on, but I really, really like it. I love that this machine has the option to add on extension tables. I never had this option with any of my other machines, and I really didn't realize how much I needed an extension table until I got one. The extension table is purchased separately to the Singer heavy duty computerized machine, but it is such a worthwhile purchase. I think I got mine on sale for about $90. All you need to do is take out the base where you've got your little bobbin and presser foot holder, and then you just replace it with this. It slides in really easily. You set it up in about 10 seconds, but it just adds so much support, especially when you're working on a really heavy project or you're right at the end where your whole dress is almost completed and you're trying to sew a really small stitch with all this heavy fabric hanging off the end of your table. This just allows you to support that much better. So I tend to find that my projects have been turning out much neater since I've had this addition, because now I'm not trying to battle supporting my fabric up while I'm sewing a really delicate seam. And this last point isn't really a feature of the machine as such, but more so a nice convenience. And that is that this machine is super popular. So it means that there is a lot of tutorials, a lot of how-to videos, a lot of troubleshooting help and maintenance videos online. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't need to go to a Singer specialist if you're having problems with the machine, but it means that if you've got any small issues, you can usually find a solution online very easily. It just makes the experience of transitioning over to a new machine much easier. Now, the only con that I have with this machine, and really I'm scraping the barrel, I really don't have any issues with this machine, but the only one is the backstitch feature. It's a little bit hard to explain, so I'll try and keep it short and simple. So Pretend you've set your machine to the highest speed, but your foot is only gently pressed on the foot pedal, so maybe you're physically sewing at a medium speed. If while you're doing that, you press the backstitch button, the machine will backstitch at the speed that you were currently sewing with, no problem. But if you take your foot off the foot pedal and then you press the backstitch button, it will backstitch at the speed that the machine was set at, which at that point would have still been high speed. So it just is a bit touchy. To be honest though, I've learned how to work with it. It's really no problem now. Every now and then it catches me off guard. It's the only thing that I would really change about this machine though. Now, to wrap up this review, would I suggest this as a beginner-friendly sewing machine? Absolutely. Is it within the budget of most first-time new sewers? Possibly not. At full price in Australia, this machine retails for about $1,000 or $1,100. As a first-time sewer, if you're buying your first machine, you're probably not going to drop $1,000 on something when you're not sure if you're going to enjoy it or not. So I can't imagine that first-time sewers buy this as their first machine purely because of the price. However, if the budget allows, then I would definitely recommend it. I feel like it has so many features and benefits that it would get you from beginner sewing projects all the way to advanced sewing projects without needing to upgrade your machine. And I do think that it's worth its value. As much as you may not use some of the features and benefits very often, I still think the basic functions of this machine are great for anyone who's starting out in the sewing game. Do I think that this is more suitable for a moderate or advanced sewer? Not necessarily. Do I think that this would be a good upgrade if you're a moderate or advanced sewer and you're not ready to invest in something like an industrial sewing machine? Absolutely. I personally sewed on my previous machine for I think maybe 7 or 8 years. I didn't have a problem with it at all. To be honest, it really didn't need an upgrade. It probably just needed a service. But this had enough features and benefits that I wanted to swap over. So I sold my other machine and bought this one instead. I can't imagine myself getting another machine that would replace this. And if for whatever reason it died on me, I'd probably buy the exact same machine again. So when I say that this is kind of suited to beginners, intermediate and advanced sewers, it's more so that you won't outgrow this machine. It has the capacity to take you from beginner to intermediate to advanced projects without needing to upgrade every few years. And that's where I see the value in this machine. All in all, I hope you enjoyed this little review video. If you have any particular questions on the Singer heavy-duty computerized machines, drop a comment below. I'm happy to help out. And I'll see you in the next video.